Deep prep. What does that mean? That means I'm getting ready for a big event this week, Thursday. If you're in the Denver area, you're probably preparing for snow. We have forecasted 4 to 8 inches of snow over the next 2 days. And that means, well, in Denver, being, funny, we live in a snowy region. I think so. I mean, the weather here, it's been 50 degrees minimum all week, but we still have snow on the ground. So I'm not quite sure why the city loses its mind when it snows. But it does. And I don't know, maybe I'm hardy folk who, I don't mind the snow. I grew up with it. I'm from Cleveland. But I will say this, the snow here in Denver is very different. It's extremely slippery compared to Midwest snow, because Midwest snow is wet and Denver snow is dry. So you hit the brakes and the car keeps sliding. All right, what are we doing today? I got some deep prep items. So if you're joining me, appreciate questions. Throw them up in the chat anytime. You might notice I've got new decor for my kitchen here. Yeah, I'm trying to jazz the joint up a little bit. Oh, that's not bad. I like that view. You can be my back. Can you see my cutting board? You can. Okay. Got some new decor here in the kitchen as well. Trying to jazz up the joint a little bit. So what am I cooking for? There's an event called Peak Awards. It's an anagram for something, but basically National Kitchen and Bath Association, NKBA. One of my colleagues is the president of the Denver chapter, and NKBA provides additional training for professionals who do bathroom and kitchen design. It's extremely important to keep up on the latest standards and codes when designing a kitchen and bath, because these are things that are extremely expensive. You're looking at, I think it was $20,000 for the average bathroom remodel, which is mind-blowing to think about that, because what do you got? You got a shower, you got some plumbing, you got some electrical, but it's extremely expensive because it needs to be watertight, and you got to get it right the first time. You really do. And then if kitchens can go up to $100,000, and I've seen plenty of appliance packages $20,000 to $30,000 if you're looking at things like column refrigeration, pro style ranges over 36 inches, 2 dishwashers, all of the trappings of a modern, larger home. Extremely expensive to update these. So it's best to hire someone who is up to date and certified, and that's where NKBA comes into play. Their Peak Awards is, I've got somebody that popped in. Thanks for joining me. I'm just doing some deep prep, and I'm talking about the Peak Awards, NKBA, National Kitchen and Bath. Peak Awards is one of their big design contests, and it's a lot of fun. So I get to cook for them every year. We do a luncheon. I'm expecting 40 to 50 people. So some of the things I'm going to be talking about are tips for how to get ready to prep for such a large event. So I break this up into several days. This event is on Thursday. Yesterday, I wrote my recipes. I wrote my shopping list. I went to the grocery store, and I have all of my ingredients ready. I need to go back and get a couple more things, but I would say 95% of my shopping is done. It's important, I feel, to separate your shopping from your prep when possible. So that's why I take 4 days to do 1 day event. Okay, so what do I got on the menu for this event? So I'm doing like a fancy soup and salad sandwich rather. So I'm going to be making soup, corn chowder, a charcuterie, easy enough. 2 salads. I'm going to be making Greek salad, which is one of my signatures, and tuna salad. I'm going to do a tuna salad display so people can grab some tuna, put it on a lettuce cup, put it on a roll, put it on a gluten-free cracker, and then finally desserts, which I purchased, but then I put out and display in an artful arrangement. So for the soup, I need to cut onions, peppers, I got frozen corn, I've got stock, I've got Old Bay, I'm going to be doing potatoes, I got a big old bag of potatoes right here, carrot, celery, some mirepoix, cream, and then I'll make that at the showroom. We're going to be at our Zuni location, 1045 Zuni Street. Fine lines. Greek salad, Roma's cucumber, red onions, romaine, feta, calamatas, lemons. I'll cut the tomatoes. I actually cut the cucumbers yesterday because I had a few minutes and I figured I might as well just get a jump on something. Warm sandwich, I'm going to be doing turkey and apple with avocado, fig jam, Swiss cheese. I'll heat that up. That'll go in a chafing pan. And that will be the majority of the food prep. So should be a nice arrangement for the people that I have coming. Typically, our guests are more ladies than men. That's just kind of how the design industry works. But I want to make sure that I have something for everybody. So if I have someone who's a vegetarian, I put vegetables on my charcuterie. If you have somebody who's pescatarian, they can have tuna salad. If you have somebody who's a meatitarian, like myself, you'll have a turkey sandwich and some corn chowder. I might put out some shrimp cocktail as well. We'll see. I like this long chunkulette and tuna in the pouch because you don't need to drain it. And it's easy to open as well. These are extremely helpful. I wish I had these younger in my life, but here they are. Yeah, they're pretty great. What my girlfriend does, she pops one of these open. She actually buys in season, but if not, you pop this open. You pour I did a terrible job of opening that one. Put your lemon juice and some olive oil right in there. Just eat right out of the container. Makes a handy lunch. Or she's a flight attendant, so she's always on the go when she's working. Okay. All right. So 4 of these. And I do a 50-50 blend of vegetables to tuna fish when I'm doing this prep. That really stretches this out. So for 50 people, is that enough tuna? Absolutely not. Are all 50 people going to have tuna? Well, I have to assume they're not. I'm going to go with the assumption that not everybody either likes tuna or wants tuna at that moment or whatever, But in my experience, and I've been doing this for over 30 years, you need I don't really measure out how much I need anymore. I just go with my experience and my gut. But I know I don't need all of that. I just know. Let me grab a trash bowl. For those of you that are joining me just now, more than welcome to throw some questions in the chat. I'm doing deep prep. I'm making tuna salad. I'm doing deep prep for my event on Thursday. And I'll post up this entire video here in the future if you want to join me there. Okay. I need asparagus for 2 things. I need for some for the charcuterie. I always like to put some vegetables on my charcuterie. And then also for my tuna salad. Okay. I rinse this off, but a lot of times what I do to get all the dirt off in the middle is I just grab a paper towel and off I go. I'm also going to peel my celery, and I peel my celery at all times. I've been talking about this a lot. It's my life's mission now to get people to peel celery. Why? Because celery is gross. Why is it gross? Because it's stringy. And how do you keep it from being stringy? Oh, it's a lot of, I'm like in first person mode here. Because it just is. So to prevent it from being stringy, just a couple of swipes. 1, 2, 3. I don't go through and pull all of the string off. I just get just enough. Like that. Ew. Yuck. Okay. So not just for celery sticks anymore. I used to only peel my celery for celery sticks. Yes, there's more in here. It would be hard to reach in there with a peeler. It's not impossible if you cut it and peel it more, but I just try to get the outside. I find the outside is much tougher. So I would say if you can get about 50% of the total string outside off, you're going to be much better off. Okay, and then I don't want any of the leaves. The leaves are nice and like garnish salads. I can add salad stuff like that, but they do have some bitterness to them. A couple of batons. And how's my view here? Great. And if you have any questions, throw them up in the chat. I'll try to catch them. My chat hasn't been working great. I don't know why. YouTube Live is sometimes a little glitchy, but if I catch it, I'll let you know. And if I don't catch it, I usually go through when I'm editing this before I repost. If I miss a question, I'll go back through and I'll answer your question in the comments. So appreciate you watching, and hopefully you'll learn something here. Okay, so I cut all my batons, and then just into a relatively rough dice. Doesn't need to be dice I like to have with a little bit of a homemade look to this. You know, I've been teaching knife skills classes quite a bit online, and somebody will ask me, well, how do I get it smaller than this? Do I just go through and mince it? I thought that was an interesting question to ask, because the whole point of doing a dice is to have a relatively precise look. Okay, so to answer that question, if you did want it smaller, then you'd have to make more cuts like this, make smaller batons, you know, and again, I'm just gonna, and then when you dice those down, you can see they're gonna be considerably smaller than what I have here. So you just need to have a lot more precision that way. And it was interesting that what they were trying to say to me is, do you make a medium dice and then mince that medium dice? And did I feel this? I did not. And the answer is no. You just take it down, you do more knife work at the beginning, and you end up with a smaller dice. So yeah, it takes more precision. So I always talk about, when I do knife skills classes, what are you looking for? Are you looking for home cooking, or are you looking for restaurant style cooking? You know, if you're looking for home cooking, just give it a, just give it a dice. Just give it a whack. If you're looking for restaurant style, then yeah, you're gonna have a lot more handwork, a lot more hand labor to get it down to that point. Is it worth it when you're cooking at home? Maybe. I mean, but I doubt it. For day-to-day cooking, no. For the home cook who thinks of themselves as a gourmet chef, I don't know. Is the payoff there? I don't think so. I think some of that is driven by maybe ego and delusions of grandeur. I cook just as good as they do in the restaurants. I want to let you in on a little secret here. It might be a shock. No, you don't. Because you're cooking for yourself and maybe your family, 4 or 5 people at a time. And that's great. That's very noble to feed people, friends, family, people that you love, people that you like, people that you might be, maybe you don't like your kids, maybe you have to feed them. But the point I'm trying to make is in a restaurant, and we have somebody new joining us. We're deep in prep for Tuna Salad here. So thanks for joining me. If you're going to stick around a little bit, throw your questions in the chat if you want. Hopefully I'll pick them up and be able to answer them. But let me see here. I'm going to poke around with this. Mute microphone, save highlights, share, and top chat, live chat. Oh, there we go, live chat. Okay. Anyways, and back to working in a restaurant. You know, a restaurant, gosh, even a small restaurant, let's say 40 seats, you might do 60 to 80 covers a shift, 2 shifts, lunch and dinner. It's 160 people a day. You're open 6 days a week. You're open 360 days out of the year. You know, so you're talking thousands and thousands and thousands of meals out of a small restaurant. The example I always like to use is when I worked at a hotel, I would do, or country club, we would do omelet bar, and I would make 300 to 400 omelets in a day. And I would do that maybe 10 days out of the year for different prior special events, you know, maybe a golf outing, maybe whatever. So, you know, I would make, in one day, let's say you make eggs every day, you make consistently, you're not gonna make eggs all 365 days. So maybe you make 320 days out of the year. Well, in what you do in a year, I do in a day. So yeah, we get considerably more proficient at things. And professionals know where to spend their time and where, not to necessarily cut corners, but where to just let it go. Just let it be. You know, so can I cut this onion slightly more precisely? Yes. Am I going to get that much more flavor? Am my guests going to be that much more impressed with my tuna salad? No. So you just let it go. And you move on to something more important. More important would be things that are more prominently featured on the menu. Okay, so dicing this onion here. And again, don't go through it. Never, never, ever go through and mince your onion after you dice it, because that's when it sprays into your face. This one's pretty strong. It's making me cry. That's when it sprays into your face. Oh! It makes you cry even more. One onion. Look how much volume I get out of one onion when diced properly here. Okay. Beautiful. So I got my onion. Look at that, I'm almost double my volume here already, just with the vegetables. I'm gonna add lemon juice, I'm gonna add mayo, maybe a pinch of salt, maybe I'm off screen here to grab my tools that I need. Microplane, chef and juicer. Been tuning in for a while, you know how important these two tools are for me. They are of critical importance. I do very much love them. And I think that they are super important. I'm just poking around with my chat feature here. All messages are visible. Welcome to chat. Remember, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so whoever's watching here, if you want to throw something in the chat, I would appreciate that just so I can practice with my YouTube chat feature. I recently hit 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of view time, which is average over a year, and now I'm a monetized channel. So I've made an estimated $24 since I became eligible to be monetized back in late November. It was actually Thanksgiving weekend. So it's a slow burn, but you know what? I'm not here to make a living on YouTube. I make a living doing food education and events for appliance factory families. And I have a great job. It's a great company. I have a great job. I consider myself extremely fortunate to work for such a great company. Okay, it's zest and juice. So there we go. Juice and zest of 2 lemons. Do I always use the zest? I try to. Sometimes I get lazy. Sometimes. I've been producing, thinking up and cooking up and producing a bunch of YouTube shorts. I've been going over kitchen tools, what they are, how to use them. So I posted how to today. What is a different kinds of whisks. And I feel like some of that information is relatively basic. However, if you don't know, you don't know. So, and I try, sometimes the most basic information is the stuff that becomes extremely popular to a user group, to a viewer group. However, if not, it's always entertaining to watch the comments. It's amazing how quick people are to criticize. I guess that's human nature. That's okay. To be a content creator, you must have a thick skin. You must. So, okay, mayo, and you know me, I don't measure. You know how it goes. Salt. Ooh, that was a little heavy. That's okay. And some oil. I'm using grapeseed oil these days. Okay, here we go. Yeah, nice. Okay. So why am I'm making this today for Thursday? And you might think, well, Chef Mark is not fresh anymore. No, just the opposite. It's going to be even better having sat because the flavors are really going to meld together. It's basically something marinating. It's going to be delicious this way. And, if you pull that whole everything must be fresh and made at the last minute routine, then you run out of time. Then you're putting undue stress on the operation. Here we go. I'm going to taste this. Let me go grab a spoon. I got little tasting spoons. No, I don't. Where am I? Here they are. Okay. Taste of work. Make adjustments. Pro tip here. Don't just follow the recipe, taste something and go, oh, it doesn't taste very good. I followed the recipe perfectly. Therefore, this recipe sucks. Keep in mind that the author of the recipe is maybe working with different materials, different altitudes. Up here in Colorado, everything's far drier. It's just, there's so many variables. Borderline too much salt, but I'm not going to worry about it. I could add a little bit more mayo. The lemon's nice. The lemon zest is nice. This is fine. I'm not gonna overthink it. I'm not gonna overthink that. I'm just gonna call it a day. I'm gonna put it in a zipper or a Ziploc bag, put it in my tote in the refrigerator, and then I'm gonna move on. Anyways, yeah, don't blame the recipe. Take a critical look at yourself and taste and adjust. So what do we taste for? We're tasting for salt, tasting for the proper amount of acid in any food that we're making. The acid in this happens to be lemon juice. Maybe I would add some apple cider vinegar if I wanted to be a little brighter without adding too much more liquid. And then finally, balance. Is it well balanced? Does it taste like what it's supposed to taste like? And balance is the tricky one. That's where experience comes into play. Be careful when you're transferring food so you don't make a big mess. So I'm trying to keep my tuna salad off the edge of the rim here so that I get a nice clean transfer. It's easier to handle later. Spend an extra moment or two here, you save a ton of time later. And that's something that I find younger culinarians, not only in age, but in experience in a professional restaurant. This is one of the things that, myself included, when I was a young culinarian, we lack the finesse in these little tools, these little things right here. Okay, so that's gonna go on a display tray. My plan for this is display tray, lettuce cups, crackers, rolls, maybe some slices of onion and tomato, and it'll be like a little tuna salad, make your own sandwich adventure. That's pretty heavy. I don't know how much that weighs, but there you go. This is, again, not enough for 50 people on its own, but certainly enough considering I am offering quite a few other items for lunch. Let's cut some potatoes really quick, and then I will call it a day on live and get on with some more deep prep. I just want to talk about best way to cut potatoes for the quick and rustic dice. Hey guys, I wanted to talk about this. What do you think about the new changes to the bag policy here in Colorado? It appears that it was voted by Colorado voters that grocery stores can now charge 10 cents per bag, you know, one of those shopping bags. This is not a shopping bag. This is actually a produce bag. Here's what I've been doing. Regardless of whether you think this is right or wrong. I take one of these and I put a lime in it, or one lemon, or one lime, or one apple. Something that I need, legitimately need. Maybe I need 3 limes, 2 apples, and 5 lemons. So I grab 3 of these and I grab those vegetables. Then when I get to the checkout line, I fill these bags to the top, and then this becomes my walkout shopping bag. Because as the law is written, the grocery stores can still provide plastic bags for produce, pharmacy, bakery, a few other things. So that's been my workaround, my hack, I don't know, whether it's right or wrong, that's what I've been doing to take advantage of, bend the rules, so to speak, of the shopping bag issue. Well, why don't I just go to buy reusable bags? Because I always 100% forget my reusable bags. So if you're just joining me, I just got done making my tuna salad for a big event I have coming up on Thursday. And now I'm gonna be cutting potatoes for corn potato chowder. Got some Idaho potatoes here. Got my handy chef's knife. This is a 8-inch Ciro. If you're looking for a great knife, they don't support me, but check it out. Hopefully they would. That'd be sweet. These are Ciro. These are $15, $18. And they're a fantastic knife. They're just fantastic. I really can't recommend these enough. So we're going to dice some potatoes here. I'm just going to cut off bottom and top. Got a little blemish right there. I'm going to go ahead and trim that. This is how I like to cut my potatoes without peeling them. I square it off 4 ways. So that is trash. Then I cut this into planks. take my planks, stand them up one way or the other, and then a couple times. This is actually one of the life skills that I would have my students at Escoffier Culinary School practice, and I would grade them on. So then there we're cutting both directions, and all I have to do now is take this down to a dice. I'm going to put this in a bowl of water, and then I will take this. I'm going to make the soup on site, so I'll saute my mirepoix, carrot, celery. I'll get my potatoes in there. Old Bay seasoning. Put some water in here. Frozen corn. Voila. Frozen corn. What else do I want to put in there? Thyme. I don't know. Just, corn chowder. It's easy. Okay. Pro tip here: cut your board in half diagonally. So everything on this side of the board is things that I'm going to cut, and everything on this side of the board is things that I have cut. And what that allows me to do is to move continuously in the same direction. So you'll see here, I've got the bowl that I'm putting my potatoes in on my left-hand side, my right-hand side. So I'm moving from left to right. And by moving in the same direction and being consistent about it, you're much safer, you're much less likely to make the mistake of placing your hand under your knife and cutting yourself. Cut off top and bottom. Shave the sides. And building consistency in any task you do, whether it's in the kitchen, or if you work in a machine shop, or if you work when you're in a needlecraft, or if you're an accountant, whatever it is. If you are more consistent, you're faster, you're safer, and that's what makes you look like a pro, is that when you build consistency. Okay, is this the fastest possible way to do this? It's pretty quick. If it falls apart on me, that's fine. That's not ideal. It's a little harder to cut, so it's almost like we've spent just a few extra moments getting it set up for success. It goes a little faster. Okay, here we go. All right. And of course, I'm taking any food-related questions, so if you got a question, pop it up in the chat. While you two are here, I got a couple people watching. Click that little thumbs up right there. Just lets the good people at YouTube know that people are watching live, YouTube live. Deep prep for a 50% event. Okay. Once again, cut my planks, turn my planks up on edge, cut my batons. This one came out much better, got my batons, and then I take this down to a fine dice. Woohoo! Yeah. Into water. This will last easily 2 days. Cut in water. They need to be deep in water. 2 days, even 3. For mashed potatoes, I recommend at least 1 day. 2 days, it tends to pull out maybe too much starch, but for soup, this is going to be fine. Cut my planks. See, I'm just being consistent. Question I get all the time is, how do I know how much ingredients to purchase for a large party? I've got 50 people coming. And shave that off right there, good. And I shop volumetrically, so it's item per person. So it would be 1 packet of tuna fish is enough, let's say 10 people. And if I buy 4 packets, that's enough for 40 people. Gallons of soup. So most people are going to have 1 cup of soup, 4 ounces. So 40 people. That's got some math on camera's number. 160 ounces. There's 128 ounces in a gallon, so I need about 1.5 gallons to 2 gallons of soup. So that's more of an exact math, whereas volumetrically would be 1 potato would make enough soup for 10 people, let's say. So trying to think of it as amount per person. If I was doing a banquet and I was going to do 6-ounce chicken breasts and I have 50 people, then I need, 50 6-ounce chicken breasts. So add those two numbers, divide by 16 ounces per pound, and you end up with the amount of pounds you need to buy. So, but volumetrically, I could say, I know this amount of potatoes enough for, let's say, one person. And if I'm doing 10 people, I just need 10 fistfuls. Okay. Great. A little more water. Yeah. I love it. Good. All right, my last potato, and then I'm gonna roll up here, wrap up here. We've been on for about a half hour. I appreciate everyone joining me. For those of you that popped in on the live, thanks for watching. And if you asked a question and I missed it, I apologize. But like I said, I'll pop that in the chat after I post this. Up. Try to do one live from the laboratory here a week with prep, and try to do something different every week. So try to do kind of in the middle of the day in case you're stuck at work and you want to join me at work. Okay, lovely, great. Potatoes. Well, everyone, this is Chef Mark. I'm in the lab live, and part of what I'm doing here is just trying to learn the YouTube process as well. I have embraced YouTube as my main my main social outlet here, but I'm finding that it requires, it's like a full-time job that doesn't pay. At least not yet, but that's not why I'm here. I'm here to teach, I'm here to share my passion for cooking, I'm here to answer questions, I'm here to hopefully inspire people, I'm here to pass on my knowledge. I've been at this a long, long time, so hopefully you're enjoying what you're seeing. If you happen to catch this in the replay, or if you've commented or you're watching, do me a favor, click that subscribe button, click the thumbs up. I'll see you next time.